Today is November 5th, 2017, and hope you're well. Today we're going to talk about living life on our own terms. And that seems like something that appeals to many people. Seems like it would. And people articulate that idea that, that sounds like that would be a good thing to be able to do, to live like that. But, we do live in a world of duality, and so it comes with its other side, so to speak. For many reasons, many people do not live life on their own terms. First of all, if you would ask people what that even means, they may not be able to really know. They may not know what that means because we're just so inundated with the ideas of the people around us, the society we live in, the goals and expectations of outside influences, and on and on and on. And there's so much noise. So much of the time, we don't have enough time of just quiet to actually even be able to consider that. And even if we do have the time, a lot of people don't want to go there. It's scary to imagine, if I wasn't tangled up in all of these various, seeming needs of others and, the ideas they have for me. And that's scary to some people, to imagine themselves disentangled from that. Because that's become part of who they believe they are now. And even if it's not the ideal of happiness to them, like it's not completely good, it's still familiar, and people learn how to be comfortable in familiarity. So for some of us, though, who would, would go there and think, what if, what would my terms be? What would that look like if, let's just say magically, at this instant, all of the things that have been kind of holding you down, or you have felt that were holding you down from anything, if they were just gone at this moment, let's just pretend. Even that thought is kind of scary for some people, but just pretend. It's just a thought experiment. If that was the case, what would you think about for yourself? Where, if you see yourself content and feeling good, not anxious or worried about things, what is the surrounding area? Where are you in your imagination when you have reached this feeling, when you've come to this state of, oh yeah, this feels great, I feel good, I feel happy, I feel healthy? Is it, actually I think I have to cross the other side. Is it a place that you see yourself? A situation, some kind of activity that you're involved in that is just making you feel this deep satisfaction and contentment. See? So those are things to consider now. If you have, oh, there it is right there. If you're able to imagine yourself feeling this way, where are you? So that's the first thing, is to actually visualize. Visualization is something that is used a lot. When people are wanting to make a change, or even get good grades on an exam, right? Isn't that what they tell you? Just see yourself sitting there, pencil in hand, paper on desk, and just knowing that the correct answers. And as silly and simple as that might seem, too simple, there is science to back up that this is effective. So that's the first thing. And then when we're able to see it, or maybe we don't even have to sit very long. Maybe we don't even have to stop and sit and contemplate. We just know, like, oh, I already know the answer to that. I would be doing this, this, and this, and this. I feel inside of myself that would bring a deep sense of joy and satisfaction, and I would feel really good and healthy and happy in that. Well, if you're at that place already, so if you're already at that place and you know, well, it's a matter of making the decision, the real decision, not the decision, well, if it's really super easy and nothing gets in the way, and no, that's not a decision. It's a decision is, I see myself there, I feel myself there. For all intents and purposes, I'm already there, except for the physical manifestation of it. I'm ready for this undertaking, or whatever it is, and come what may, hell or high water, whatever interruptions or interferences try to step in, they're just going to be bumps in the road. Not that they're literally bumps in the road, but like when you really, really make that decision, it's like, okay, well, that thing is going to have to be overcome because this thing is going to happen for me. So, and it's not even, we've kind of made it sound like it's a specific thing, but just like a specific endeavor. But what we're really talking about is just living in a state where you feel good about the things that you're doing, and it's not based upon what other people are saying that you should be doing, or their expectations of you. That's stressful. So when you decide, you know what, I do want to live on my terms, whatever that means. Maybe it doesn't have a specific face to it. I just want to live my life without everybody chiming in all the time about what's good for me, what's right for me, what I should do, what I shouldn't do, according to their expectations and opinions. You want to live like that. When you see yourself living like that, realize that you've got to make that decision that, in fact, because many people, maybe most people, are not living that way, you're going to have resistance from well-meaning, well-intentioned people coming around like, well, you sure? You thought about this, that, and the other thing. And yeah, for people who live on everybody else's terms and conditions, they don't know. They haven't put themselves in that place of experiencing life on their own terms. And so maybe they haven't had the balls to do it, right? And so you're going to come skipping along talking about, guess what? I'm going to live life on my own terms. That's like a foreign concept to a lot of people as far as not the words of it. Like, this damn bee, go away from me. I shouldn't have put perfume on. You can't expect this welcoming acceptance of that from people who imagine that actually that's selfish to imagine that you can live on your own terms. So sometimes we really got to think about who we're going to share this with. Not that you're going to come out and say, hey Mary, I'm going to live on my own terms. You might say, hey Mary, I want to do this thing, or I want to, whatever it is. If Mary isn't vibing like that, you might not want to share it with her, because she might tell you all the reasons why your idea is doomed to fail. It makes sense to you guys? And then, or Mary might be the kind of person, or Julie, or whatever her name is, or Bob, whoever. He may feel like the best way of life is living on everybody else's terms. That's self-sacrifice. That is noble way to live. That's the best way to live. They might put some religious connotation to it or whatever. And so to express ourselves to someone like that we would like to get those chains off of us, of the opinions and the ideas of what other people think for us. To them, that might sound like complete selfishness. And like we're just kind of, throwing up the finger at everybody, like, F everybody, I'm going to do what I want. Screw you. I don't care about other people, what they need. And no, that's not what it means. But this is what many people have told themselves who've gotten used to living that way, that, this is the right way to be. So just, think about who you might want to share with when, if you're thinking about making a change, So, because, again, many people are not at that point in their experience, and sometimes you gotta really think ahead. We're at that point now, guys, where it's like when you're driving and then you're looking ahead at what the conditions are that you're going to be coming into while you're driving. You're not just looking at the 10 feet in front of you where you're driving, and then you get to, oh boy, there's been an accident and this and that, and you only just know it when you get there because you haven't been looking ahead. And then we have the audacity to let that happen and then start cursing like, oh man, I'm going to be late. What is this? And if you'd been paying attention and looking ahead from farther back, you would have seen what's going on and been able to make the adjustments. So what was that whole traffic thing about? That was about, we want to think, if you know people and you know that they're opinionated and you know that they're very dogged in their views of things, what do you think's going to happen when you tell them blah, blah, blah? You see? And it's not, so people will be like, well, you don't want to hide it. It's not hiding. We have the right to keep our business to ourselves. You don't have to share your plans with everybody. And if we know ahead of time that certain people are going to just rip us apart and, just tell us all the reasons why how we're feeling and what we're thinking is faulty, if we could just think ahead of time and know that more than likely that's going to be the response, then don't. We don't want to set ourselves up. Because what you want to do is already going to have its challenges. Why bring in extra challenges? Unless deep inside ourselves we haven't really decided that we want to move forward in living by our own terms, and we know that sharing our feelings with certain people, they're going to just tear it down. And we're that smart. The mind is that smart. And we kind of know that, now all of a sudden this person is always on you. So what's going on with that? What's going on with that? And that's going to be a stressor for you. And then eventually you're just going to let go of the thing. But see, we set that up when we share too much with people who are not vibing that way. We just do our thing. It's our own individual journey that we get to navigate. We do. That's not selfish. If we don't know how to navigate our own existence somehow in this place, how are we going to be able to help other people if we ever want to do that? Because it's just, we are our first, experience of these things. You can't bring things to others that you haven't brought for yourself. And then if we have children, we can't express to them, well, it's important to listen to yourself and whatever, You can't even say those things honestly if you haven't done it yourself. Because kids will more pay attention to how we live than the words that come out of our mouth. Because that's what the truth is. The words that come out of our mouth are just, when it doesn't match how we're living, they're just words. And kids are intuitive and they can perceive that it's not truth also. So it can be confusing. Anyway, deviated from that. Anyway, so those are just some ideas about living on our own terms and, stuff like that. There may be another part to this, but it just felt like something that wanted to be shared. So, as always, we want to wish you much love. Thank you.